Hello everyone, um, welcome to Supply Chain Way. Today we are going to discuss about a very exciting topic: how to build a supply chain analytics career. Just reading the topic itself, I am so excited. I am sure you will be excited as well. So without wasting much time, let's get it started. So how I place this session is we start from the basics. That is my style. Don't think that I am already in an analytics career, I know all these basics. Yes, you may be knowing the basics, it's great, but just see my point of view in terms of my way of explaining how I see this overall supply chain analytics, and my views in terms of how you can make this as a great career for yourself. Okay, so let's get it started. So the first question is, what is analytics? See, there are a lot of definitions available. You can just Google it. There are a lot of technical definitions available. But my style of definition of what is analytics goes like this. Okay, so let's hear it out first. Analytics leverages business data to solve business problems and take right business decisions. This is the way how I prefer to explain what is analytics. So in this, I want to just touch base on key things. It leverages the business data, solve business problem, take right business decision. So the three key things are: the analytics put a lot of emphasis on data, and everything you do, it's backed up by data. Number one. Number two, solve business problems. What is the fun in doing all these analytical things, and finally you don't solve the business problem on hand? So it's very crucial. Whatever you do on analytics, it has to solve the business problem on hand. Also, it should help you take the right business decision that is more of futuristic. So this is how the definition goes. Analytics leverages business data to solve business problems and take right business decisions. So let's move forward. What are the steps involved in analytics? So even analytics itself, there are many stages involved in analytics, which I will be explaining in the coming slides. But in any analytical work, what you do, there are a set of steps involved. So what are they? Let's find it out. So they are data collection, cleaning, data sets, analyze, results, and report. As simple as that. So whatever analytical work you do, you collect data, you clean the data. Very, very important. It sounds so simple. 100% perfect data. In none of the projects or none of your work, you will get 100% clear, precise data. So that is where cleaning of data is very, very important. Then you make them into a data sets, perform the analysis, whatever you want to do, come up with the results, and then report that. So all these steps are absolutely critical, and these are all the steps involved in analytics. The next one, what we are going to see is, what is supply chain analytics? I think the definition is pretty same. When I say pretty same to what you have seen in what is analytics. But the difference is, in a supply chain analytics, you are going to use supply chain data, which will then help you in supply chain problem solving and also help you in supply chain decision making. So that is how the definition of supply chain analytics goes. And then, how to leverage analytics in supply chain. This is absolutely critical. More than knowing about what is supply chain analytics, etc., you should exactly know how I can leverage my analytical ability in supply chain such that the supply chain gets better. That is where you are actually adding value to the supply chain. So in a sense, analytics creates an edge in supply chain, which is absolutely true, by doing the list of things which I am going to explain you. The first and foremost thing where analytics creates an edge to a supply chain is by knowing your customers. There is a tremendous opportunity in using analytics in knowing your customers well. You may ask you a question: I know my customers. What is so different in it? I would suggest you to go through two videos which I have given down in the description. One is knowing your customers Gartner Model. Second one, what makes supply chain complex and exciting. So these two videos will help you understand how then analytics can play a role in helping you knowing your customers well. Number one. So the second one is quantifying the uncertainty in the supply chain. As you are aware, there are a lot of uncertainties in the supply chain. It could be demand variability, it could be lead time variability, it could be uncertainties around products in transit, it could be uncertainties about even the external factors. There are so many uncertainties in the supply chain. Now, the supply chain which quantifies that uncertainty well, better than others, is going to be a clear winner. I say it very clearly, they are going to be a clear winner. And analytics play a very, very crucial role in quantifying those uncertainties. Okay. The third one is supply chain model and simulation of key supply chain decisions and the impact. A very crucial point here, though failures give you a lot of learnings, in supply chain it comes with a great cost as well. So I always recommend do it first time in supply chain. And when I say do it first time, that is where analytics play a crucial role by helping you build models, simulate multiple scenarios and see what is the cost and effect and what kind of impact it can have on your business, and then basis that finalize which is the best option, and then do that on reality. And analytics is very, very crucial over here. And fourth one is risk management. Now, even this COVID-19 situation, whichever companies had a good risk management system in place have actually sailed through this much well and better than other organizations which don't have a risk management. And analytics has a role here as well. Through analytics, you can actually come up with a list of risk. You can come up with the impact on your business, both operational and financial impact. And then you can also come up with mitigations plan, evaluate them and put to use. Every bit of what I said, you can have analytics play a role. And the last but not the least is business performance management. How is my organization doing? How is my channel partner doing? And how are the other stakeholders doing? Everything can be measured and tied back to the root of the issue using analytics. So these are the 5 key areas where you can use analytics within a supply chain such that it gives an edge to your supply chain. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to explain you 2 different models. One is the Gartner's model of analytics. The second one is called the scam model. Trust me, it's not a scam. I'm going to explain you these 2 models, which is going to be of absolute help to you to understand not just about analytics, about how to shape up your career in analytics as well. So let's start with the Gartner model, one of my favorite. Actually, I'm going to quickly draw this for you. So what is over here is there is an X and Y axis, and I'm going to put here you have the value, and over here you have the difficulty. You can swap these 2 as well, not a problem, because the graph is going to be a linear graph, not a problem. So there are 4 boxes over here. The first one is D, which is nothing but descriptive analytics. Okay, that is number 1. The second one is another D, which is diagnostic analytics, and the next one is predictive analytics, and the last one is prescriptive analytics. Okay? So you can remember them as DDPP. As I said, this is descriptive, diagnostic, predictive and prescriptive. I'll just explain one by one. When you say descriptive, what you're actually doing here, part of descriptive analytics, is documenting what has happened. As simple as that. You're doing what has happened. And part of diagnostic analytics, what you're doing is why did it happen. So this is basically what has happened. Here you're doing kind of an analysis and finding out why it has happened. And now these 2 is based on data. This one is predictive. So what you're telling is here what will happen, that is becomes your predictive. And the last one is prescriptive, how to make it happen. So there are 4 things: descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics. So descriptive analytics is what has happened, and diagnostic analytics is why it has happened, and predictive analytics is what will happen, and prescriptive analytics is how to make it happen. In case you are talking about some negative impact on an organization, then how to not make it happen, how to basically avoid it, that comes on your prescriptive. So if you really see, these two focuses on your data to put insights and sense into the data, and these two are futuristic, which is talking about what is going to happen and how I am going to fix it. This is a simple explanation of Gartner model. More you can just Google it and then you can go through it. This is the first model. The second model is a SCAM model, which I am going to take you through now. Okay, so SCAM model, and it is developed by me, leveraging the benefits I got from analytics in my supply chain career, and I've tried to put that in a piece of paper. I'm sure you will enjoy this. So the SCAM model elaborates a supply chain analytics model for problem solving. This is very, very important for problem solving, and I'm going to take you through the steps involved in it. So the steps goes like this. The first one is interpret, infer, model, forecast, simulate, solve, prioritize, implement, evaluate, and the step goes on. Okay, let's go one by one. In case of interpret, what you're telling is you are making sense out of data. That is all it happens in the first stage, which is interpret. The second one is infer. This is where you derive insights of the entire population. So where infer come into play is, assume you have a very huge population that your data sizes runs to millions, where you can't measure the million. You are taking a sample out of it. So part of infer, basis your insights you got on the sample, you are then deriving insights for the entire population. This is all what you do part of the infer. If you are able to measure your complete data sets, then the step of infer doesn't exist. The third one is model. So many times people use this word modeling. Actually, in crux, what you do is you are structuring the data in such a way that it is aligned with your business, how it is today. It is very, very important. That is what you do a model. It can be done in Excel, it can be done in any software, doesn't matter, but it should do what I just said. Structure and align the data and flow to the business. Once you model, basically you are having a replica of your business as a model. Now you start doing insights for the future in time series. I prefer to use the word forecast. The reason is, predict means it's kind of telling it will happen. Forecast is little more precise. It's tell in a time series way what is going to happen next day, next week, next month, next year. So I prefer to use it as a forecast. And the next one is simulate. This is where you're coming up with the cause and effect relationship. Iterate and run many scenarios before you actually take some decision making and make that as a reality. Trust me guys, this area is the most exciting phase. If you are an analytical person, I think this will excite you a lot, because you're building model, forecasting what is going to happen. You simulate things and see by your own eyes what may happen, etc. And then when you try to implement it, when you compare between what you estimated and what is happening, trust me, it is going to be a lot of fun doing this. Next comes the actual phase. Most cases, people may not be even interested in what you're doing here, but people may be interested over here, because this is where everyone can see, the organization can see, hey, what are all the results? Now this is the time you're making the results here. Now first one is solve. Arrive at a quantifiable solution. Prioritize the solution by factors. Very, very important. See, there is not one defined way of solving anything in supply chain. You may come with multiple options, multiple steps. Now, this is where you need to come up with which is going to yield me maximum returns, which is kind of a quick win, which I need to pump in capital, but it is going to yield me greater benefits. All this prioritization you need to do, and then come up with the steps of what you are going to do first, what is second, and analytics plays a role here. Last one is implement. That is the time to get real with whatever you have identified. Evaluate the results. Very, very important. Most organizations fail to do this. You implemented it, someone presented that I did a great job, this is what my value prop, etc. Have you going back and actually measuring, this is the estimated value prop, have you actually getting it onto your P&L? That is where analytics plays a role in evaluating the insights on effectiveness of the solution. The last one, you may see it is a typo, it should be a stop. This process doesn't stop. it again goes back and starts from here. That is why analytics is an evergreen field, because you have always work. There is nothing like I have done this and that's it, end of it. No. So this is a continuous process. As I've told you, you need to understand each of the step. Each step is very, very crucial, but where most people will be interested, the organization will be interested, the client will be interested is over here. So this is absolutely critical. But for you to perform here well, and this entire portion will be important. Unless you are thorough and strong in terms of your data, your interpretation, your inference, and on your analysis, it's very difficult to come up with a right solution as well. Okay, so let's stop with that. So I have also grouped them into 4 phases, if you can see that. So this basically interpret and infer is basically business case. You validate it, you do a solution design, you do an implementation. So these are all the typical phases in any project, whether you run it as in your own company or you do it as a consultant outside. These are going to be the 4 key steps in any problem solving. Perfect. My suggestion is to take a printout of the Gartner model and the SCAM model and keep it on your desk, because this is going to help you in 2 ways. One, in terms of your approach. Second, in terms of are you scaling up, are you moving forward in your analytics career. Okay, so with that I'm moving forward. The next one, top analytical software in the market. You may think now Alvis is going to give the top 3 tools and I'm going to learn it today and I'm going to have a great career. One thing I can assure, I will ensure you have a great career, but I'm not going to tell you which tools are the best. The reason is, if you go to the market today and find some of the best tools in the market, name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years before, there is a very high chance that they have not even existed, and there is a high chance that they may not exist 10 years from now as well. I'm not telling, I'm not wishing that they should not be in the market, but what I'm trying to tell you is softwares can change. Okay, so I know people who invest a lot of time in making an array of certificates. Okay, I've done this software, next software, next software, next software. Great. Then I present them with a problem, they struggle to solve it. I'm sure you would have understood what I'm trying to tell you. So softwares are important, but prior to that, you should have the ability of problem solving, the approach of handling a problem. Not just that, you should have thorough functional knowledge. These 2 are absolutely important, which I probably frame that as methodology. So the methodology is very, very crucial. With that ability, you can even take a piece of paper and write the algorithms and model, right? And you can do that structure and then you can put that into a tool. Trust me guys, no software is going to directly give you a solution on hand. It is your methodology which uses software as a lever and then to present the right solution to your business or to your clients. That's the reason I will tell again, if you put it like software versus methodology, both are important, but definitely you should start with more and more in terms of methodology and then go back here. Choose which are all the 1, 2, 3 different tools which will help you to make your methodology a reality in a very, very efficient way, and then use those tools and learn it. And there is another insight. There are a lot of softwares comes with pre-built models, but I'll tell you, the real excitement comes in building your own models, right? And use some of the models existing whenever you have a quick solution to be arrived at. You use a model, put the data, get it, and so, but in that case, that software will look like a magic box to you. You would have heard the famous saying, garbage in, garbage out, which is true for all the softwares. That's the reason I put more emphasis on the methodology. How to have a successful analytics career? One of the most asked question whenever I go for any guest lectures, one of the most asked question is, Alvis, how can I have a great analytics career? I see a lot of passionate people in analytics, but what you're going to hear from me next is going to absolutely crucial to shape up your career, no matter whether you're a fresher, whether you are in 5 years or 10 years. This is going to be a great piece of recommendation for you. So let's move forward on that. Oops, what is this? Don't be worried. Still you are in the supply chain analytics session, but I am going to use astrology as an example, to be very precise, astrologer as an example to explain you how to have a superstar career in analytics. Okay, let's go back to this example. What you see in this image is an astrologer who's doing his job. So let me ask you a question. You are going to an astrologer. An astrologer will talk about your past, your personality, and also he predicts your future. But why do you go to an astrologer? To talk about your past or predict your future? The answer is very immediate, right? You are going to an astrologer to know about your future. So with an assumption, now you have reached out to an astrologer. Now again I am telling, it's nothing to do with your astrology belief or non-belief. This is an absolute example to state how to make a good analytics career. Okay, now let's keep that aside and let's get back to this topic. So you are going to an astrologer. Will you be interested in knowing about your past or future? You will immediately telling, I want to know about my future. Now when this astrologer explains you about your personality and your past, he made lot of blunders in explaining that. Now will you believe in what he talks about your future? Absolutely not. Okay, with the case he exactly told about your past and personality, now you will be all excited. Wow, he's great. And then he tells, after 30 years this is what you will be. Will you be excited? So it's like you got excited and like, oh no, 30 years. Then you may be, because you are interested in knowing what will happen next week or next month, this year, next year, and then probably 10 years down the line. What that means is you will be excited to know something immediate and then in a sequence of time, right? And if he says something as immediate, and when that what he said he or she said has become a reality, then that astrologer is going to become like a superstar in your life, where you are going to go back to him every now and then to get some insights. This is the same thing which happens in your career as well as an analytician. So for you to keep the first step and grow confidence in your organization or with your clients, the first step is always the data, what you have on hand. Make good insights out of the data and present it in a clear way with the maximum insights possible. That is your first impression, and that has to be a superb impression. Okay, same like how I explained with the astrologer. If you mess up on the past, that's it. It's not going to go forward. Same way, your data on hand is your step one. But you should not stop on that. You should go ahead and start predicting. You should tell what will happen, what is going to happen. Only then you become a complete analytician. There is no fun in just doing dashboards, very colorful dashboards, very colorful dashboards. I speak and then it will get converted into a dashboard. I'm sure you are relating to what I'm telling. Guys, no fun. People will see it for a while and you will lose your credibility unless you start predicting. Note it down. You will lose your credibility as an analytician unless you start predicting. Same how I have explained with an astrologer. Okay, and that is how your career as well will move forward. And second thing, I use the word forecast rather than prediction, because prediction can happen at some point of time. When you say forecast, it should tell what will happen by a time series. As an analytician, you should use the word forecast, because you need to exactly forecast the events which are going to happen on a time series way. So these are the key takeaways. I'm sure you like the example, and this example now will clearly tell you what you should do as an analytician to have a successful analytics career. This is one. The second thing I want to again touch base here is in terms of stagnation. Sometimes you feel like I've done everything well, I am doing this, but I somehow feel that I am not growing further. I'll tell you the reason. When you say as a growth in an organization, you start probably as a junior role. What is the topmost role? It is a CXO role, right? Have you seen any roles called Chief Analytical Officer in an organization? Even in an organization where they are into analytics as a service, do you have a Chief Analytical Officer? I have not encountered anything like that. Even if you would have encountered, it could be very rare. What that means? Does that mean that if you're knowing analytics, you don't have a career, you won't reach there? No, not like that. So the saying goes like this. Again, it's a very short and crisp. I want to explain this. Analytics has a great future, but just analytics alone doesn't have a great future. Confusing? Let me explain it. All those CXO roles, whatever I talked about, they can't be in that position if they don't have an analytical ability, but they won't be in a CXO position if they have only an analytical ability. What that means is, with your analytical capability, you should acquire problem solving ability, the one which I talked about, what people are interested in. They are not bothered about which model, which tool, nothing. Bring the results on to the table, which is possible only by being a problem solver. Number one. Number two, be a team player. Ability to influence bigger teams and make them go towards a single target. If you're able to do these two things and have the analytical ability, guys, there is nothing that can stop you. You will have a fast track career. You will just spearhead into that growth faster. I'm sure you get it now. I think there is no other way. Be a great analytician. Acquire these two skills of problem solving and team management. You will go places. And this is a secret recipe to have a successful analytics career. Key roles and designations in analytics. So when I was making this presentation, I actually stopped with that. I wanted to summarize and stop with that. But then I've realized a lot of people give importance to that designations, right? So though I am a chief executive officer of HISOL, I'm still so happy to be called as supply chain consultant. Though my visiting card reads CEO, I'm happy to be as a consultant. But I'm not saying, there were times when I was in my initial days of my career, having that role as manager, having that individual cabin, it comes with some wow factor. So I'm not going to lie telling no, I am always like this. No, it's not the case. Okay. So designations always give you some happiness. You enjoy the happiness. But what I'm going to explain is two things. One, what are all the designations available in an analytical career? What that job descriptions will look like for that. And second thing, very important, how designations should not misguide you. I'm going to explain you these two, and I'm going to explain these two using the SCAM model itself. So if you see here, if you at the starting point of it, it is called make sense out of data. At this point of time, you don't even have a data, right? Where is the data? Data won't just fly and come and fall on our lap. Someone has to collect it. That is the first and most crucial role. It is a data architect. One of the most understated role. Okay, but one of the most crucial role. Data architect comes up with a plan to collect the data. That is a measurement plan. What to collect, how long it will take to collect, and then that goes to the next stage. So the job of data architect is to plan this entire data collection and collecting the data. It is a field job and it is a super exciting job. Okay. It is also called as data engineers, but I prefer to use the word data architect because actually they are structuring the plan and collecting the data. Once the data is available, you do the data analysis where you are getting the sense out of data and you derive the insights. These roles are done by the data analyst. Okay, data analyst looks like a junior role, but you have the first hands-on touch on the data. You clean the data, you make those data sets. Absolutely exciting role as well. Now, once these both are completed, then it's get into the modeling phase, forecasting and simulating, and that is where you get into a role of a data scientist. A big call out here. Lot of data scientists, actually, though they are called data scientists, they will be doing the analyst and architect role. How to differentiate that? Actually, whether you are doing a data scientist role is by asking yourself this question. Are you using the developed models or are you developing models? As simple as that. If you are called data scientist, but you are using some of the existing models, trust me, you are actually doing a data analyst role. If you are building models, you are doing a lot of research, this is where you are becoming a data scientist. And this role, as an individual contributor itself, it can go a long way when you have that research ability as well. Whoever is having that excitement on building models, simulating it, seeing how things are moving around, give some input, see the output. This kind of people with this kind of taste, data scientist is a role for you. The next one, the most exciting, the visible changes in your organization all will happen on solution design and implementation. The step one is solution design, which is done by business analyst. One designation which no one wants in the data field. They want the data should be part of their designation. Trust me, business analyst is the role where data analytics and the functional knowledge comes together. The most needed thing in the market is this, and the biggest gap is this. People are great analyticians, but they don't have the functional knowledge. They are great functional knowledge, but there is no analytical ability. Both comes together, you become a business analyst. Very, very good role. You should have both. You work with the data architect, analytics, data analyst and data scientist to get the data, and you also know the functional thing to drive the solution design. Not just that, part of these three roles, you can also acquire functional knowledge and you can do a business analyst role as well. This is how you progress. And the last one is where you're implementing, you become a consultant, either an internal consultant or an external consultant, where you are giving that analytics consulting as a service. Okay, now some small organizations, many roles could have merged. Probably business analyst, there could be only one role, they do everything, or there could be data scientist and business, that is, or data scientist and business analyst. So these kind of overlaps tend to happen depending on the size of the company, or by the nature of this roles itself. There could be some overlap. But what is very, very important, initially I said I'm going to talk about two things. The second point is, don't get carried away by the designation. Like a designation which is calling as data scientist and you doing a data analyst role is much, much better than you call yourself as a data analyst, but actually you are doing the complete role as a consultant. Learning will be much, much higher. This is my recommendation to you to have a great career in analytics. Okay, so that's it from my side. I had a great time making this video, explaining this to you. I'm sure you will be excited as well, and if this will be of any help to you, please leave me a message back telling, okay, I've seen this video, I got benefited. I think as a mentor, I think that is the biggest happiness which I can get, where people get benefited by my videos and the insights which I am giving. Do few things for me. Please print the SCAM model and the Gartner model and display that on your desk, number one. Number two, very, very important thing, the small saying what I said, analytics has a great future, but just analytics alone doesn't have a great future. You have to keep this in mind. I want all of you to grow in your career, but ensure you have the analytical ability and you acquire the problem solving skill and the team management skill. This is absolutely critical. And last but not the least, I wish you all the very best in your career. Feel free to write back to me or just put a comment down in the description of this video for any questions related to analytics or supply chain analytics or career around supply chain analytics. I wish you all the very best. I will see you soon with yet another video from Supply Chain Way. Thank you so much.